says the minimum trade size RMC required is blank. This is a run that is 45 foot long. Okay, they're giving us that information, so we know it is not a nipple. Okay, remember chapter 9, note 4. The nipple rule pertains to pieces of pipe that are 24 inches or less. Okay, so this is just giving us a bit of information that we won't be able to use that 60% fill column. Okay, it says the following conductors will be installed. We got 4 12 gauge. Let's just get us a list going. I'll get us a list going right here. I got 4 number 12s, and I'm just going to put an @ symbol. I've got 3 number 10s, 3 number 10s. I'll put an @ symbol, and I've got 2 number 6s, 2 number 6s. And I'm just going to do @. Okay, once I have a nice, neat little list going, I'm going to go to Chapter 9, Table 5, and we are going to get the sizes of these individual conductors. These are THHN/THWN. Let's take a trip. Okay, Chapter 9, Table 5 is going to be your dimensions of insulated conductors and fixture wires. Okay, it's very key to these, and just like we did in that other section with Annex C, we are just going to cruise on down that left side till we see our wire of choice, which is THHN/THWN2, THWN. There you go. Inside of here, let's get the numbers for these specific conductors. I believe we had a number 12. And number 12 is going to come in at 0.0133 inches squared. Now remember, at the top you have 2 columns to pick from. You could pick the metric system or you could pick the standard system. I think in a perfect world we'd probably all pick the metric system because it would make a hell of a lot more sense. But living in the country as we do and basing our system of measurement on the size of the king's foot like we do, we're going to use freedom units. Okay, freedom units is probably pretty universal for most of us Americans. Okay, so we'll use inches squared. Just remember you have those 2 ones up there. Okay, so we're going to take that 0.0133 and I'm just going to write it in here, 0.0133. Okay, and then I'll just do equals because I'm going to add all these out. Let's check that number 10. Next line down is number 10, and I'm going to write it in at 0.0211. Okay, 0.0211, and I'll just do an equal symbol. Keep these neat. Okay, make the calculation neat. Find you a piece of scratch paper or whatever it is when you're going through them. It will help you out tremendously. And the last one is a number 6. Let's go down. Let's check that number 6. It's going to come in at 0.0507. Let's write it in. 0.0507, and I'll do equals. From this point, let's boot up the old calculatrice and let's make it happen. Okay, make the magic happen right here. So I had 4 number 12s, and it's times 0.0133, 0.0133. Now, if you're handy with the calculator and you can get all of these working nicely with parentheses and all that, by all means, do it. Okay, it never really pans out for me, so I'm not going to bother. I had 3 number 10s. 3 times 0.0211, okay, is 0.0633. And lastly, let's do those number 6s down there. I had 2 of them. I'm going to multiply that 0.0507. Okay, equals 0.1014. Now, once I've got those, I'm just going to add them all together. I'm going to leave that 0.1014 on there, and I'll hit plus 0.0633 plus 0.0532, 0.0532 equals, okay, and I'm just going to carry that number down, 0.2179, and that will be in inches squared. Once we have that bit, okay, this is how much room our wires are going to occupy. Now we need to find a conduit that is acceptable for these. Okay, we are talking about RMC here. Again, this time, however, we will use the official as a whistle table, table 4. Okay, so we'll step backwards to table 4 and we will just go down and find our conduit. Okay, so we are going to cruise on down. And eventually, we will have Article 344 for rigid metal conduit, also known as RMC. Okay, once we're inside of here, we are going to want to be in the column that is applicable to our situation. Okay, we are over 2 wires, so we will be at a 40% fill. Now the 60% fill, remember that does apply to nipples. Okay, so Chapter 9, Note 4, 24 inches or less, like we were saying. You also have those sections for 1 wire and 2 wire, if those apply to your situation. Occasionally, you might have a question that asks about these other two at the end, but it's not very often. Okay, so inside that over 2 wires category, inside of freedom units right here, inches squared, we are going to go down until we find a conduit that is good for 0.2179. Remember, that's the minimum. Okay, so it has to be at least that big. It will most likely be bigger. Very rarely do they hit exact. So I'll just cruise on down, 0.2179, and it looks to me like 0.220 for that 3/4 inch RMC can fit this. It's tight. It's gonna be a squeeze, but it looks like that 3/4 RMC at 0.220 barely makes it. I would probably upsize this depending on how far we needed to go, but per code, we're good. Okay, this is good to go per code. So we're going to put in that 3/4 RMC, and we are going to call it a day. D. Is that what I wrote? Cool. Hopefully that helps. Let's keep moving down the line.